Hello, everyone. How are you doing? So, we wanted to put something together because of the short notice of working remotely for so long. That way, the kids in Madison County can have some meaningful instruction throughout this 3 weeks that we have while we're working remotely. I'm going to put up that screen that was on during the wait time. If we're looking at that, so we do have a short agenda we're going to try to get through. Looking at the plan for the week, and Susan's about to go through that with you all. We're going to talk about Zoom, which is what we're on right now, Google Hangout, Google
Kevin,
Classroom,
say who you are.
uh, Flip
Maybe.
Grip. It meant to be Flip Grid. Clearly, we typed that incorrectly. Screencastify or Screencast-O-Matic. Remind how to email all your students through Infinite Campus, YouTube, and then we'll have a short little question and answer as we're working through. So we did mute all the microphones just because these sessions get kind of crazy with all the background noise that goes on at people's houses. So we wanted to make sure that it was kind of limited there. So if you do have a question, we'll be watching the chat, and we'll try to get it as quick as possible. So I'm going to let Susan kind of talk about the plan for the week.
Okay, can you all hear me and see me? Kevin, can you?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, sweet. By the way, if you all don't know who we are, I'm Susan Sintra and I'm the president for MCEA, and that's Kevin Presnell and he's our treasurer. Kristen Presnell is going to join us in a little bit later too, and she's our secretary. Okay, so do what?
She is on.
Oh yeah. Oh, hi Kristen. Okay, sorry. I'm not supposed to touch my face. Oh gosh. Okay. So this week, what we want to do is be as visible and accessible to our students and our members as we possibly can, and and as helpful as we can. So on Monday and Wednesday of this week, we're going to have a live Facebook meetup kind of thing to see how it went. You know, tomorrow's going to be our first day doing this remote learning thing as a whole body. So we're going to join up at 5 and see how things went for you guys. And if you have any questions, like get them ready so we can walk you through it. And then we'll do another check on Wednesday at 5 as well. And we'll see how it goes. And if you need more, then we can reevaluate and join together on Friday. But right now we just wanted to see how that goes. So we're scheduling it for those first 2 days. Also, we're asking you guys to send us pictures or videos or whatever you got, because we want to see what you're doing, and we want people in Madison County to see the work that we're putting in with our students and how much time we're devoting to this. So send us your information, or send us pictures, videos, anything you got as you're working through the day tomorrow and the rest of this week. You can send it to our emails, you can tag us on Facebook, but we want to publish that through our MCEA website as best we can. It's being visible through all this is like we've said, this is going to be a difficult time, and given the fact that this all came out of sort of nowhere and we haven't had a whole lot of time to prepare, I know everybody's feeling overwhelmed and stressed and concerned and all of those things, and so we want to be here to help you guys through it as much as we can and do the best that we can to get through it together. All right.
And I will say, so this session kind of just came about is because most of these tools Susan and I have used frequently in our classrooms already. So if we wanted to be an asset to everyone else, as that maybe, I mean, you've used Google Classroom, but you haven't really used it to the full extent of what it can do. And feel free to reach out to us with any questions that you have, even after this session. So shoot us an email, reach me on Facebook, whatever.
Sorry, I'm jumping in. If you have other resources that you guys use, I mean, Kevin and I are both high school, and we've spoken with some elementary school teachers before, and so we know that our audience is different and has more accessibility sometimes to things and more awareness of certain tools. So if you guys have more resources and tools, please let us know that, and we can share that with the rest of our body.
Cool. So we'll go ahead and get started with looking at Zoom. We're on Zoom, and that's kind of why we wanted to do this on here, is so we could see Zoom through a platform and how it works. It's great for collaboration with faculty members. So if you wanted to do a PLC, you wanted to meet remotely, maybe you have a student teacher, whatever it is, it's great for that. It could also be good for meeting with classes. So maybe you want to have office hours and maybe meet from 3 to, well, 1 to 2, whatever the hours are that we're working. Have it open that kids can pop in and ask you a question while you're working on grading or doing whatever you need to do. So there's some strong possibilities for how this can be used. Also, you're able to record the session. So maybe you want to get on and have like a quick little question and answer session with kids for about 15 minutes. You can record that and then post it available for your students whenever you're going back through. So it's a great tool. And I will say, so the CEO came out a few days ago and said that this tool is, they're making it free for educators. It's already free. But they're removing the time limit that's already there to where you can have extended session with this. So it's one of those tools that just recently that they've made available to educators as we try to deal with all this craziness that's going on. You're able to screen share. So maybe you want to have like a lecture and show a PowerPoint. The image I'm showing right now is actually just a Google Slides. And you can see it just gets through. You can go through and screen share and show all of the different options that you have. Susan, do you want to kind of talk about Google Hangouts?
Sure. Yeah, Google Hangouts is another platform that our kids really are already accessible with. All right, I'm going to show my screen. Do I click the share screen button, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Give me 1 second. Do you have to stop sharing yours to? Yeah, there we go.
Stop sharing mine. Yeah.
Okay, can you see, are you seeing my screen now?
Yes, we are.
You are? Okay, thanks, Kev. Okay, so when you go to Google Hangouts, if you go over...
Susan?
Hangouts,
There we go.
can you see me? You good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. You have, your kids are already connected. So if I wanted to call or have I could set up a group here, or I can call one of my students. Let me think. Here, I'll just pretend to call Kevin. See if anybody who's in our server in the Madison County Schools website pops up here. So your kids can contact you easily through this. If parents are in here, they can do that the same. And it's just a video call, phone, or you can do a messaging platform. And if you wanted to set this up and embed this into your Google Classroom, that's super easy to do as well. You just have to, let's see, if I wanted to create a group or a call, hold on. You could even type in phone numbers here, but it gives you can go to the invites, and these are kids who have called me or messaged me on here before. But if you go into the invites and you can schedule a meeting, copy the link and put it into your Google Classroom over here. There, we're back to Kevin. So that's Hangouts. Also, there's Meet, which is...
We're going to pause for just a second, Susan. Sarah just asked a question. If you create a group, do you have to type each student in individually? So the easiest thing to do would just be to post the link on Google Classroom or send the link and giving them the option to join via accessing the link. Kind of like I sent with the Zoom link. So you create an appointment and then you share that link with whoever you want to access the class. This is for if you're wanting to call an individual. Actually, Meet is probably the best way to do that, because if you're going to do that, you can, like, if this is over here in Google Meets, click continue. I'm just typing a thing. It's going to ask to do all this stuff again. But here I'm asking to join one or to present one, and then hold on. Now I'm like, whoa, hold on, because this is getting me too far into. There's a lot going on the screen. Yeah, there's a lot happening there. So hold on, I'm going to back out of that. But Meet does the same thing. When this is over, I'll post up a little step-by-step of how to work through that specifically too. But those are two options that you have, and they embed easily with Google Classroom. Oh, I just touched my eye. Is Google Duo a replacement for Google Hangout?
Do you know I'm not sure. What's Google Duo? Do you know that, Kevin?
I'm not sure. Do you want to look that up, and I'll go ahead and start with Google Classroom?
Yeah. So you want me to stop sharing my screen? Are you there?
Yeah. So, look up Google Duo. We're moving into more of the Google Classroom, and this is what we're going to spend probably the majority of the time talking about, how to use Google Classroom. Just a quick show in the chat. Will you just type into the chat, one, for you've never used Google Classroom before, two, for you've used it but you're not quite confident, or three, I'm proficient at Google Classroom. Cool. So I saw a few threes, mainly twos, and then one, and another three. Good. So I'm not going to go through the specifics beyond. You have a code that you can give to students to access it. But Google Classroom has changed a little bit, and depending on how you want to use it, depends on what you're going to do with it. So the stream, this is the front. This is where all the assignments start to show up whenever you're posting them. So I can come into this class right now. This is a sample class that I have. And I can create a message that's going to go out to all of them. Depending on the notification settings that the students have, if they have the app, it might pop up as a notification. It might send them an email, whatever it may be. There's options for me to go ahead and message all of the students in the class. When I use Google Classroom in my classroom, I tend to navigate towards the classwork tab, and I like to create almost modules or folders where I contain most of the information that I have. So we created a sample topic here. You can create different topics if you're looking at it. So if I create a topic, I could do sample 2, and then it would create a separate folder for me to put information into. Also, along the side, you can access specific topics, and it'll pull it up just that way. It's not all there together. So I'm going to go back to all topics. When you're looking into creating an assignment or creating any type of information, there's different things that you can do that are super beneficial. Assignment becomes particularly relevant whenever you're wanting to grade something in Google Classroom. If you're just wanting to give them information, it's more of a material, that's stuff that you're putting out. But if you're actually wanting to grade something, put it into Infinite Campus eventually, you're going to create an assignment. I've already created an assignment there, so you can kind of see the cool things that it does that you're able to do. So I created this assignment earlier with the people that we were practicing this little run with. And it's actually an essay that I gave my classes that they've been working on for the past few weeks. I just reused the post. So say you have multiple classes you're doing something with, you can reuse the post across the different classrooms. So I sent it out there. Whenever I created it, I made a copy for each student. And what happens is it creates an assignment for each of the 2 students that I have in my classroom. What's really cool about this is I can go into the document, even if they haven't turned it in, and see them working on it in real time. So Kristen is going to go in and start typing. So you can see, I can see her actually editing as she's typing into the document. One of the new features that's actually really cool that Google Classroom does is actually checks for plagiarism. So up here, you can see it looks like we've caught Kristen with some flagrant plagiarism. If I pull up the flagged passage, it'll actually show me exactly where she got the information from. So it looks like she got some information from mathplanet.com. So it'll go through and actually tell you where she copied and pasted that from and where it fits into the information. And then it actually gives you the exact link that it came from. So this is something really cool that is relatively new. It's actually still kind of in beta form. They're still working out the kinks with it. But something that's definitely useful if you're trying to do some more intensive writing assignments. through Google Classroom. That way you can trust the material that's coming to you. And I also, I actually showed that to my students in class so they could see what's going on. Then one of the new features that came out this summer with Google Classroom is actually the ability to put a rubric in. And this makes your grading so much easier if you're looking at writing assignments or any type of assignment through this format. So I can actually go through and you can see I have a rubric that's there that I typed, and it's one of the options whenever you create an assignment. And I can just click the box and it goes ahead and automatically grades those as you're working through. I don't think she was very persuasive, so I'm giving her 10 on that. And it adds up the points as you're doing it. So you don't have to do that, and it makes it much simpler to work through. Susan, do you want to take over?
Yeah, we can. Hold on, let me go back to where you are. 1 second here. Okay. All right, can you see my computer now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked to you about getting in through the basics there. These are all of the classes that I have, and so if you've never created a class, it's super easy, just like he showed you. But also in this, you've got your classwork set up. This is where you can see your students who are in your class, and this is where you can invite their parents into it. And when you invite their parents in, the parents will get a weekly update of any missing assignments that come to them. It doesn't give you the graded stuff or that work, but it does give you, like, your student has completed this many assignments this week and hasn't done these. So they'll get that weekly so they can keep up with what's going on as well. And then this newer feature is grades. When you put, like, when Kevin here, he just gave, is this the assignment you just graded? She got 50 out of 120. Well, that's terrible, Kristen. You got to do better. But so it shows her grades. And if we had more grades up here, you would see that and it would calculate how that works. So that's an easy way for kids to keep up with it. But also, when you are in, so for instance, when you're in this assignment, after Kristen has turned this in, you can make the rubric here like he did, but also comments. Adding in comments that's my jam. So if I were to go over here to work, hold on. If I click in here, or if I click on any part of whatever this is, then it gives you this little box here. Click on comment and I can say, Kristen, this is clearly plagiarized. Go away. Or whatever. When you comment at that, the kids can now see what's on their document. So if you're going to give specific feedback, rubrics are great, but especially during this time where we don't know how much we're going to get to talk to the kids, or we're in such a state of uncertainty, being able to give them specified feedback on certain things and whatever the document is that you created is necessary and easy for them to do. And make sure that you can say that. Also in Google Classroom, there's comments. You're allowed, like, the students can leave private comments or they can leave class comments down here. So if I type something, I don't get it, then it sends that and I get a notification. This one everybody can see, but I get a notification that a kid has commented on an assignment and that they need help. So I can go into it and help them however I need to. So it's important to see that. Also, the other thing in here is the calendar. Where do we go with the calendar?
It's in classwork.
Where is it? In classwork? Okay, thanks. I don't honestly use the calendar as often as I should, but it's going to be beneficial for this time. So if you have any assignments that are posted going forward, then you can see when due dates are. And it also links, they've already got all of our stuff sort of plugged in. This is for us with Madison Central, but some of our things on the Google Calendar are already plugged in with that. Any other questions? I can't see the screen right now. We did good. Have I missed anything, Kevin?
I don't believe so. Just looking through. Also, so one of the things that I'm going to do, and I'm going to put my screen back up. Putting it back up. There we go. Is post like quizzes, and especially now with Google Forms, they've worked really closely to make sure that they're integrated very well, really closely. So if I go back to reality, sorry, the sample quiz, I put a quiz actually in there. So it assigns it, it goes through, and it will actually go ahead and put the grades directly into Google Classroom for you. So goes through, you can put an answer key in, and I called it a quiz. It could be anything from maybe you have them do reading and you have a short little reading check after, or maybe some type of content. I don't know. There's different ways to use these quizzes to get the information and get quick grades and quick feedback while you're working through. So
hang on, Kevin, 1 second. Dale has asked, is there any way to import worksheets into Google Classroom to assign to students? So the easiest way to do a worksheet is if you have it saved as a Word doc, you're going to want to upload it into your Google Drive. And then from your Google Drive, it will become a document that you then add on and that kids can access. So let me show, can I grab the screen, Kev?
Sure.
Okay. So 1 second here. If I'm going back into, if I'm creating an assignment, I'm gonna add this in here, and if it's a worksheet, let's say, hold on, let's call it a worksheet. And I say open the attached document and follow instructions. And then you go to click on add. Once you've taken whatever document that you've used before and uploaded it into, if it's a Word doc and you upload it into your Google Drive, then you go to your Google Drive and normally it'll pop up in your recents. And let's just, I don't have, let me pull something quickly. I'm gonna say this assignment here. So I'm gonna click add. And then when you get this, it's added here. You don't, if it's something you want students to be able to write on, so the worksheet part of it, then you're gonna go to make a copy for each student and post it that way. Then you click, you can do all this stuff over here, put your, how many points it's worth, when it's due, if you have the rubric like Kevin said, and make sure you put it under the topic. And even if it were something that were assigned to, you don't have to assign every assignment to every student. So if you've had to modify work for a particular student due to their IEP or whatever modifications they may need, you can assign certain stuff to specific kids. So keep that in mind too. And once you do that, you click assign, and kids now have access to write on that document. If what you've been working on is a like if you have a document that's a PDF, you're going to want to, the PDF is not going to transfer into something that is easy for students to respond to. So you're going to want to either retype that or rework that into like a Google Doc so it's easier for the kids to work on it.
Or I will also tell you, and this is a side, we considered talking about it, but we decided not to. The other tool that you can use with PDFs and it integrates into Google Classroom is called Goformative. We're still on your screen, Susan.
Oh, sorry.
And I pulled it up real quick while Susan was talking so you can see exactly what it does. Goformative is essentially an online tool that integrates with Google Classroom, so it actually directly connects with what's going on, and then you can upload PDFs into the documents. So if I go to formatives here, I can create a new formative, press plus, enhance a PDF, Google Doc. And what happens is you would go through and click where you want kids to go through. So if I pull it from my computer, I can put a random PDF in there and it uploads it. And this is the full document of the PDF. But while it's working through it, you can go through and say there's like multiple choice options on this PDF. I can go through and click where they should be clicking during the action. So it says click on the image to add questions. So I can put a question right there and say, or I'll go down, this actually has. So here's the question. We're gonna do short answers. And then I can type in types of government. So there's different ways and I can add correct answers. So if I'm going through all the different types of government, I can go in and add correct types of government answers and they can add it around the image as they're going through. And like I said, this does connect with Google Classroom. So it imports all of your students in and you can use it. So like I said, it's got it right here. It's got all the students in each of my courses and it grades it for you. So it goes ahead and puts the grade in and puts that into Google Classroom for you. So it's an option that you have there. It's an extension of it, Google Classroom that you can use to really take PDFs and make them usable for what you're needing to do. So I think Susan is going to take over with Flipgrid here. And then,
wait, hold on. Any other questions on Google Classroom? I know that was kind of a really kind of fast. I mean, honestly, when we do these workshops for real, they're all day. But you guys are relatively familiar with it. Any other questions on that? Okay. Then I'm going to jump into Flipgrid. Do that like make a comment on how many of you have used Grid before. 1, saying I use it all the time. 3 is never. I think I did it backwards, Kevin. 3, never, 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 never. Okay, lots of nevers. All right, friends, here we go. Can you see my screen, Kevin?
Yeah, I see myself.
Hello, Kevin. Okay, hold on. Where's my Flipgrid thing? All right, Flipgrid is a platform. You go to flipgrid.com and create an account. I already have an account, but basically there are 2 big things that you do with this. And this is there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with Flipgrid, but this is a very condensed rundown.
Susan, I think we lost your mic. Or you?
Oh, you can't hear me?
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I created a grid. You have grids and activities. Let me show you, go back here and I'll go back to that in a second. Over here where it says add new grid, this is what I would do for coronavirus days, right? Okay, I'm going to create this grid. And I want this to be connected to students' school email accounts because everyone will be logging in with like their email accounts or their Google Classroom, right? Then it gives you this link right here. And that's how you would post this link on your Google Classroom to have students access your grid. So this tells us what the school email is. That's what they know it as the @madison.ky schools. Now I've created a grid. So I'm going to go to my grid. And you can change this to make it look different however you want. The next thing is you add topics. So the grid is the bigger part and the topics would be the smaller conversations. So for me, I may add first period English 2, okay? And this is where I'm gonna put responses to questions posted on Google Classroom here.
You may have lost your mic again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Why is it doing that?
I'm not sure.
Because technology never works when you ask it to. That's
It's a great advertisement. Your mic is off again.
Why is it doing that?
There, it's back. You might have to sit closer to it.
It's in my lap, like I'm holding the computer. All right, hang tight with me. So can you see the examples here of the grid that I have up? Kevin, can you respond to that?
Yes.
You can see that? Okay. So here is a video, and I'm going to show this kid's. Basically, we had posted, this is when Kevin and I taught a class together. We posted a question. In the first one, tell me what you have done with your projects over the break. And in the second video, tell me what you need to do to complete the project and to prepare for the competition next week. So we had students who were working on a competition, and we had a bunch of NTI days. So this was their response with their NTI work had to do. Now I'm going to use it differently since we're going into like extended NTI days where students will be responding to major discussion questions going forward. But for example, here's one of the kids' videos.
To get ready for the project, my group and I need to go and rehearse saying all the things and getting the information down pat and in our long-term memory.
Okay, so once you can see these videos and you can click through them really quickly, you can give specific performance scores or idea scores, and you can put your comments here, or you can reply with a video and give video feedback. So if I wanted to record a video and it would go back to this kid, then I could say specifically, oh, I love that you did this, or ask direct questions. And so it's like we're having a conversation back and forth, but it may just be slightly delayed. Now that's Flipgrid in a nutshell. If you play with it or if you have other questions, you can like message me specifically, but there's so much that can be done with it. That was it in a little 30-second nutshell. The point with Flipgrid is to have video conversations with your students. So your students are practicing whatever responses. If you're in lower grades and you're looking for reading checks, maybe you have the kids get on there and record themselves reading one of the books that they have or one of the assignments that you asked them to do. So then you can see that audio check for their reading and comprehension that way. There's tons of the possibilities with Flipgrid are endless, and that was really just a teeny tiny smidgen of it, but they do amazing things. They also connect with other students across the world. So, and I'm sure that there are threads on here about the coronavirus and about how we're doing this remote learning, and they can get on there and look at what other kids in other parts of the country are saying about how they're handling this and have conversations that way and attach you into those conversations so that you can see the work that they're doing. So really, we have this opportunity of breaking down walls virtually with the tech applications that we have. So if you need more specific instruction with Flipgrid, then give me a call or message me or something, and we can do it one-on-one, and I'll help you however I can. But it's really an amazing platform.
And I think for Lisa and some of those that are have performance pieces I think that's a beneficial way for them to engage their students.
Oh yeah, if you're you need to practice the music stuff, right? I'm the music stuff. Like I said, I'm nervous about my son and the trombone for the next month that we're stuck in the house with my son and a trombone. But it's all right. We're gonna do it, right?
Or a whistle pin.
Or a whistle pin.
All right, so we're going to move into kind of the screen record sessions. I'm going to start with Screencast-O-Matic, and then we'll go to Susan for ScreenCastify. So I'm going to share my desktop again. 1 second. Here we are. So looking at my desktop, Screencast-O-Matic is similar to ScreenCastify. It is basically an online platform that records your screen and lets you kind of do what you need to do. So maybe you want to show a PowerPoint. This will record your screen and put you in the bottom corner. So you have an opportunity to kind of record, give more information on top of just giving kids a slide. If you're looking at it, there's several different options. I personally paid for the education option. They have a price for individuals and so forth. If you're wanting to pay for it, the most premium option is only $4 a month. So it's not expensive, but they do have free to start with. They just limit the length of time that you're able to record a session. So if I'm looking at actually the process here, and I don't have any uploads in here because this is my now tied to my Madison County Schools one. This is something that I frequently used in college as a way to record videos for classes and such. I believe the minimum used to be 15 minutes. It might have been shortened at this point. But it's an awesome way to record your screen. And I think it's easier than any of the other platforms. Susan will probably disagree with me when we talk about Screencastify. But when I'm looking at how to record a screen, I literally create my account. It has a login with Google. So you'll just use your Google account, create it, and then asks to let you open Screen Recorder. It does require you to download it first. So it'll pop up down here, say launching recorder. If it's not been downloaded, it'll say you need to download it. And then it records pops up with the screen recorder. So I'm gonna switch this real quick to my other screen so you can see what this looks like. So the way this looks on your screen, you see you have several different options. It pops up with all basically the area that's being recorded. So you can see right here, this little line tells you what's being recorded. You have different options that you want to do. Say we're working remotely, so you want to not do your hair at that moment. I don't really have that problem. My hair just is what it is. But
Because
you
he's
can just
balding.
view the screen. Yeah, I do have a receding hairline, and the closer I get to the camera, the less and less it looks like I have hair. But so you can do just your screen, you can do just your webcam, or you can do the both to where it puts you in the bottom corner down here. It has a max time that it'll allow you to do. So if you're saying you only want to do for so long, it'll set that timer. Like I said, I did pay for this specifically because I'm going to use this throughout some of this process. So I have longer and I'm able to do that. If you also pay for it, you have the ability to edit videos. So say you're halfway through and you sneeze and you're the type of person that doesn't like to have your sneeze recorded on camera. Well, you can go through and edit it back out and make this kind of shorter pieces. You can control what audio is showed. This is something that's kind of novel. A lot of screen recorders, like the ones that are built into this Mac that I'm using with, won't let you record your audio. This will let you record your audio. So I can go in and say, I want you to record some YouTube video I'm showing, and then I'll talk about it. Maybe I have a YouTube video embedded into a PowerPoint. This will let you record that audio as it's going through and so forth. It shows the size, so what size the folder. You have more preferences that you can use, but a lot of it's not really necessary. It's how you want to pause it or what do you want to do. But then it'll just say there's an option down here to actually record, and then you're able to start recording what's on your screen. So it is a great way to engage, to pull your screen in, maybe do a lecture instead of doing question and answer. You can just post out there your video. It saves it to YouTube, so it'll automatically be posted there. And then you just share the YouTube link with your kiddos. Okay, I'm going to switch back so Susan can use the camera now.
Okay. So for me, my favorite is Screencastify. Can you guys see? Okay, so Screencastify, y'all can see my screen now, right, Kev?
Yeah.
Okay. It's an extension that I've added on up here. To get an extension, you just go to the Chrome store and like put it on there. Actually, I think we already have it on with Madison County Schools. So if you click here, it's in your browser. Oops, sorry, I got anxious. All right, it'll pop up here to load, and this is the easiest. I mean, I think this is the easiest because it saves it directly to your Google Drive. So, and you can choose the option of where to save it to. So if I want to just record my browser tab or my desktop or just my webcam, you can choose whichever you want to do. So if you were working on something and you just wanted that browser, you could switch to other browsers, and like your students aren't going to see the other browsers that you're going to while you're recording. It makes it a little cleaner just depending on what you're doing. I prefer to share the whole desktop screen. You can turn on the embedded webcam, turn that off if you don't want your face shown on there, whatever. Right now, there's a 5-minute limit per video. I just emailed Jacob and Ben, our tech guys, because we had a license for this before, and I think that it might have expired. But that license gave us a much longer time. Like I don't believe that it even had a time limit on it that I can recall, because it all uploaded to your Google Drive. So, and that's not very much. So we'll see if they can't purchase that for us again. I'll keep you guys updated on that, on how it goes. So if I want to start recording, I click record. And again, it's going to ask you, do you want to do your entire screen or just the window? I'm going to go with the entire screen. So now I'm recording the whole thing. Oh, I may have to, well, it's not going to let me do it because there's a problem with my computer, not with this thing, because of the space on my computer. But alas, you just click the record button. Click the record. Let me try it one more time. This here, share. Normally it'll say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I tried using Screencast. What happened? Tell me what she's saying.
Oh, Angie was asking if it worked with her Red camera. And I think, so some of our Red cameras at school, the Elmos or whatever they're called, the document cameras, they are connected via USB for GradeCam. So if you're using GradeCam, it might. I'm gonna have to go around. I'll go play with mine at school and let you know for sure, Angie. If not, Kristen, and I'll unmute. I think I unmuted, or Kristen can unmute. She said she had some tool that she was using to help with that. Kristen, do you want to unmute your mic and talk about that, or you're still muted? Here, I'll unmute you.
I think I'm unmuted now.
There you go.
Hey guys. We've been trying to find like a solution for math related, so we can still give instruction with because we got to keep moving on. We have Cuomo boards at our school. They're like the white tablets that you can write with the kind of like a pen, and we've been using that and then using the Screencast-O-Matic to do that. So that was our kind of solution for that. We weren't able to get I have the Red document camera also. Unless I was doing something incorrectly, we weren't able to get that to record. I know some schools have like a gray document camera, and theirs do record, but the Red one, we could not figure out how to do that. I don't know if that answers the question, but
I will also say, Angie, you can record the Zoom platform that we're using on this right now, and I can actually, I'm going to put this on the screen. Do a whiteboard to where I can write on here, but I feel like that would be a lot of work. But I can go through and do some of this texting and drawing on here. So there's other things that you can kind of do through Zoom as well.
I was just going to say too, like if you have an iPad in the past for math, I mean, we've used like Edu Creations and the Show Me apps, so you could use the whiteboard, and it has a record feature also. There's something, and I'm drawing a blank right now for what it's called, that's on my desktop computer at school. I will look. I'm actually going to go in tomorrow, so I will email you, Angie, with that software too, if that would be helpful.
Cool. So if we're looking at our list here, and we're starting to run a little low on time, if you want to, how many of you have used Remind before? If you've used Remind, will you just type 1 in? And if you haven't, will you type 2?
Okay, good.
Okay. So we'll skip past Remind. If you do have a question about it, feel free to send either of an email. One of the questions is, so your kids are away from school now, and you haven't given them a Google Classroom code. What exactly can you do at this point to kind of give them that information? You can email. You can go ahead and send them the link or invite them via their email, but that takes quite a bit of work. You can send, and I'm going to put it on the screen, your entire class an email. And Legina Wilson sent this out a few days ago, but when we were practicing for this, we realized that we got a lot of emails on Friday. So understanding and seeing what's going on, there's ways to go through. So if you want to find that email eventually that Legina Wilson sent you, it came through as a do not reply to the Infinite Campus, but it's got some cool information in there on how you can send an email to all of your class based on whatever class it may be. So you go in, you create a message, you select a template, but it has in detail all of that information that you would use to send an email to both your parents and your students. And I will go ahead and put that in the chat. So you have that link, that way you don't have to dig through the email, you can just find it and access it that way. So Susan was going to talk about YouTube and kind of the things that you can do with YouTube. And then we'll just open it up to if there's any questions and answers, or maybe there's a different technology you want to know about. And if we have some idea, we'll tell you about it, or not, we can do some quick research and follow up with you. So I'm going to let Susan talk about YouTube, and then we'll open up to question and answers.
Yeah, and YouTube's real quick. If you have, first of all, you all know we use YouTube all the time in classrooms, and the videos and whatnot that you have to use. If you can add that into, you can add a YouTube video into your Google Classroom really quickly. If you're using the Screencastify, it can upload directly to YouTube, or it can upload directly to your Drive folder so that you can embed it into your Google Classroom. Let's say we want to use this thing, and then all you do, sorry. All you do, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay. Copy and paste the link if I'm going to embed this into my Google Classroom so that kids can, so that kids can go on and post a response or whatever it is. I'll make this an assignment, and I will tell them to watch the video and create a document with your thoughts, whatever, however you want to do that. So if I go over here to add, you can click on YouTube and copy and paste that link, and then click on it, add it to your assignment, and it's right there for kids to access. So it's super easy, and they don't have to leave this platform constantly to go back and forth. I mean, and you guys know YouTube, we use this stuff all the time. So don't be afraid to look at other stuff that people are using to help explain concepts. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel because we've got so much stuff going on already. So don't be afraid to use those sites as well and include that into your instruction. Because clearly kids go to YouTube to learn how to do all sorts of things. So use it in our time of need for sure. That's really all I had to say about YouTube. Did I skip anything on that?
There was some technology you said to be able to embed questions, you've told me before, into a YouTube video. Is that not a thing?
Oh yeah, it's called Video Notes. Hold on. If you go, it's spelled video. If you just Google Video Notes. Nope. Hold on.
We can send that out via email later if we need.
Yeah, we may have to. It's
cool.
Yeah, we may have to. Wait,
Yeah,
hold on.
open it. Oh, did you find it?
Wait, let me explain what that is. The video notes thing, really quickly, when we send that link out, is just they watch the video and then they can take notes, and it's like side-by-side note-taking of the video and their reaction to whatever it may be or whatever questions, and you can embed questions into it that they have to answer at certain parts. But yeah, we can send that out. Sorry, just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no. So I guess we'll open it to questions. Is there some type of technology or that you're curious about, or that we can find more information about, or something that we talked about because we went through things really quickly, that we can answer another question for? Guess I'll give you a second to type in. If you're good, if you'll just send good.
Is there any? Oh, did you already address the Elizabeth's question? Oh, she's good. Okay. Is there any way to mute their videos on this app?
Yes. You can do audio only and then let yourself have video. There's, when you set up the meeting, you set it up that way.
I'll get you the video notes link, Tara, and send that to you. AP Classroom, is that I'm not familiar with that. Have you heard of that, Kevin?
I can unmute you real quick. Hold on one second, Lisa, and you can ask us. There you go.
Hey there. No, I just got information about that last night on in my email from AP, the College Board. And so I'm going through the training on it. I just wondered if this was something that's always been around, or have they just started putting this into place for this emergency? It looks like it's good, but I have no clue how any of it works yet. I'm still going through the training videos.
It does look really cool. I don't teach AP students, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it would be really nice if it did work. So once I find out, I will let you know.
Yeah, definitely, so we can share it around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I've not used it before either, so
Okay.
let us know.
Oh, I have one more question since I'm up.
Cool.
What about, I get the whole spectrum will give the kids internet, but what if they don't have a computer? Is the school giving them, is there anything they can check out?
You know, that's a great question, and I actually thought about that this morning. We can definitely, we'll talk with Fritz about that and see if we can get something checked out to kids who may not have that device. But I'll keep you guys posted on that conversation, and maybe Mr. Gillum may have some ideas on that too for students at other schools, because I know we have these devices. If we could check them out, if they don't have devices, that would be good. So I'll keep you guys posted on that conversation for sure.
Thank you.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is. Okay, and then this other question, do you know how the assessment assignment is different than a normal assignment? Are you talking about on Google Classroom?
Yes, she said on Google Classroom.
Okay, sorry, I just saw that. So there's not really a difference. It's just how you break down the questions in there. So hold on, let me actually go look.
So when you look at, so it's actually called quiz assignment. Whenever you create it, essentially what happens is it just opens it up with a Google form. That way you don't have to go through the possibility of connecting it. If you didn't click that button and clicked assignment, you can still attach a Google form to it. But if you know it's going to be like a quiz or something like that, that's only going to have a few answers, or maybe like a short answer in one of those forms, you would want to use that instead. So when you're creating an assignment, that's when you're creating like a doc or something, and kids are going to have like a doc that they're typing into that you're going to go through and grade. Usually the quiz assignment is whenever you're doing a more of like a multiple choice, short answer, maybe a constructed response, a longer one. Generally, that's kind of the difference. Does that answer your question, Rebecca? Cool. Was there any other questions? So it looks like we're wrapping up. We do want to get you a certificate for participating for the full hour. So if you will type your emails into the group chat, so I have something to actually email you back a certificate for. We'll get you an hour PD sent to you. We did apply for it. and we'll definitely just go ahead and send it to you, and you can give it to your offices. My email is kevin.presnell@madison.kyschools.us. If you want to shoot me an email, I'll respond as quick as possible. I'll be available from 9 to 1 tomorrow, as will most of us.
Yeah. I'm the one that sends the emails most of the time. So it's susan.cintra, CINTRA @madison.kyschools.us if you need me.
Awesome.
What
Well,
you taking
we are going to post this video. Yeah, I did just take a picture. We are going to post this video on our Facebook and on Twitter, and we'll send it out to the rest of the members. So we really do appreciate you all participating. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know.
And also, let me say that keep in mind we are flying this plane as we are building it, and it's going to be somewhat stressful, but like literally we're here. I've got, if I don't know the answer to something, then we will find out the answer for you. And I am familiar with as much tech stuff as I possibly can be. So let me know, and we will dig through it to find out what you need and how we can help. And if you have any other questions about anything else, then we are always here. So just feel free to reach out at any time.
Cool. Thank you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Kev.
See ya.
End it. I don't know how to end it. You're on. It's on your end. There you go.
No, yeah, I'm
Bye.
the host. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, host. You've not ended it yet.
I know. I was letting people get out.
Well,
So
I don't know how to get out.
I didn't want to end it before someone didn't have a chance to put their email in.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Bye, Tara. I just saw that. All right, I am ending it now.
Okay, goodbye.